I'm Taylor.
I'm Mike.
And we back with another episode from Dogs to Dads.
Woof! I'm getting better.
Gotta work on it. All right.
So let's start out, bro. What's the origin story? Because I knew college Taylor, right? I knew you from college until now, but how did you become who you are?
Yeah, you want to know how I became a dog.
Start it up.
All right, so I grew up in Oklahoma, a little small town, Bethany, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Man, when I was growing up, my parents were strict. Like, going through middle school, high school, you met my dad. Like,
love him.
Well, he was strict.
Yeah.
I love my dad, but strict, all right? So, keep that, like, so I'm, like, very sheltered growing up. Not in a bad way or anything. Like, I definitely am so happy how I was raised and how strict it was because it made me who I am. But being strict, like, yeah, me and my brothers my older brother, he's 7 years older, so we didn't grow up together like me and my twin.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do have a twin, and so when we were out, we had curfews. We had to be home at a certain time while our friends would be staying out. Mm-hmm. And so we were always coming home. Both of my parents, they worked at our high school.
I can't have that. No, that's
so, when we got in trouble, it was like the teachers wouldn't even take us to the principal. It was like, I'm going to take you down to your dad's room. And so, like, so my dad was a history teacher, and then he was also our coach.
Yeah.
We played basketball. So he was a basketball coach, and then my mom was a computer teacher. And so, like, they were there the whole time seeing us grow up. Anything that happened in school, they knew about. And so being raised with strict parents, it was fine growing up because I didn't know anything else. Like, you think high school, you think, like, that's the world. And, like, so many kids, like, if you're watching this, like, there's so much more beyond high school. And so, like, my twin brother, we graduated. He goes off to OSU, Oklahoma State University, and I stay at a community college in Oklahoma City, OSU OKC. And so
I know nothing about that.
Yeah, so that was the first year, and it was still like I was back in high school. I was still under my parents' roof. They let me have more free reign to do what I wanted to do, but I was still living with them while my brother was living a university life. And so second semester, my brother, he joined a fraternity. And so I'm like, by the way, like, so having a twin in high school, like, and then I don't know if you knew this, but I had a growth defect growing up as well.
I know nothing about that.
And so I was tiny. Like,
you would never know it seeing him now. But
yeah, so I was tiny. I had a growth defect, little guy. Yeah. I had to take medicine to help grow. And so in my twin brother, like, nothing wrong with him. Cool. Like, he's just, he won homecoming king in basketball, popular. And so it always felt like I was in my brother's shadow. I felt like I had friends, but it was more of, this is Terry's brother tagging along. I felt like a tag along almost.
Yeah.
And so speeding up to college now, second semester, he joins a fraternity. And me and my brother were close. And we still are close. And so he called me, and he was like, hey, I want you to come up to these parties. And so I come up there. And it was just like fraternity parties, nothing crazy or anything, but the fraternity he was in, that's where we met, like, all the boys, all the homies.
Yeah, okay.
And so, like I said, my dad gave me free reign, so I would go up there when I wanted to. I'm still living at his house, though, but, like, being on your own, like, even though we're still in Oklahoma, being on your own, like, and, like, having that opportunity to do what I want and just be free, it hit me hard.
It's a new Taylor coming.
Yeah, it's like I just started going nuts. Like, and that's I guess the only way to explain it, really. I just kind of went crazy, and then, like, our friends, like, I actually felt like I had friends. Not saying I didn't have friends in high school, but these guys, like, I wasn't living in my brother's shadow. Like, these guys like me for me. Like, I wasn't like, hey, let's invite Terry and then Taylor's gonna come. Like, it was like they would call me, hit me up, and like, and my brother had his own friends and I had my own friends, and so like it was just like it was a whole new world. So like after my first year at OSU OKC, Oklahoma State University in Oklahoma City, I asked my dad. I was like, hey, I told him I wanted to transfer to the university and live up in Stillwater.
Okay.
Joined the fraternity. I lived in the fraternity house, and then it just like that's how I started becoming a dog.
The question is, so I know you said you lived that life.
Yeah.
But so it started at OSU OKC, and then it really, you kind of developed
so
as you went to.
That's what I was just about to get into.
Okay.
So, like, becoming a dog, what I mean by that is, so I was little. Like, I took medicine to grow.
Yeah.
I was getting no girls. Like, no girls in high school. I was the little kid.
Yeah.
And then I started working out when I hit college, because now I'm, like, the same height as my brother. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'm like starting to get some meat on my bones.
Okay. Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It just
Flex
like
a little bit. Chest cuff.
I remember like I would go to these parties and like I would be talking to girls would talk to me, and I was like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and then I started like building it up. And then you got the boys with you.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they're hyping you up. You're hyping them up, and like now it's like that's how it all started. Is like I started like becoming that guy, and like I'm doing crazy stuff too, so everybody's like loving me, and like I felt like the more crazier I got, the more like attention I was getting, and the like it was just like it was crazy.
So did you create a character, or was this just the new you?
Nah, it was me. It was definitely me. It was no character. Like that's who I was. I was the wild one. I was the one that was going to all the parties, and everyone, like, it wasn't a party until me and the homie showed up.
That's true.
And like it was.
I know, you know what, that is very true.
It is. It like no one.
I met you in college, and then we used to clicked up. So okay.
And we all got together when we walked in the party. Then they'd be like, "All right, time to start." And like that's how it was. And like we did some crazy stuff, but like that's how I became the dog
that you are.
That I am now. A lot has changed since then, but that's how it was whenever going through college.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about the origin story.
Yeah. So your turn. Tell them about you.
Bro.
How'd you start?
The origin story. So this Mike you see in front of you hasn't always been who he is now.
Yeah.
So, it started, so my parents are Nigerian. First thing, anybody that has any, I'm not going to say Nigerians are the strictest, but I mean, like curfews, whoopings. I was straight and narrow, and I went to Catholic school my whole life. I don't know if you knew that. So Catholic school my whole life. I have an older brother, and I have a younger brother. Now, the older brother went to a school in Oklahoma, PC Original, right?
Yeah.
And did some terrible stuff. So that's why we were put in Catholic school.
Yeah.
When I say origin story, so I was a sweet guy. When I was young. I was
Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Nice Guy. I thought, see, and for you ladies out there, y'all the ones, y'all know who you are. You made me who I am today.
Wow.
So, speaking about I can remember it like it was yesterday. So it was a girl I liked in like a middle school or whatever. And my little brother can also, he laughs at me now, but I tell him like I went over to her like saying sweet nothings, thinking I was speaking. I was like, hey, I drew you a picture. And little do I know, some dude came up and scooped her right from under me.
I was like, not the picture.
Bro, scooped. I was like, okay, heartbroken.
You were like the dude in Hitch, right? Like before
exactly.
You were that dude.
That was me. That was me.
Walked on.
Yeah. So.
I can't talk. That's how I was.
Hey, see, bro. And then, and by this time, I was never short. I was lanky. I had the glasses. But, lanky glasses, braces back then, that wasn't hitting. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm like, whatever. That's fine. I talked to my older brother because my dad was always busy, entrepreneur. He always had something to do. My mom was at work. So my brother was kind of a father figure to me also, right? So he's like, Mike, you know what you got to do? He goes, you going to stop? He's like, F these girls. Do you? I'm gonna help you. We're gonna start working out, start getting you into sports.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole different when it comes to sports because I wasn't always good at sports either.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving forward. So now I'm like, we're gonna jump grades. I'm going to like 8th grade. Still sweet guy. So I'm sure y'all go to Walmart, bro. You know those rings with the little diamonds, the fake diamonds.
No,
rings? Bro. Yes,
no.
yes. No one, not even Katie knows the story. So I go in there, and I had a little girlfriend, that little thick thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So I'm like, gosh, I love her. I fell in love.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I'm gonna get a ring. Bro, my godbrother at the time, you know Alex, right?
Yeah.
Clowning me. He's like, Mike, don't do it. And so still, I hadn't became a dog yet.
Yeah,
right?
you can't.
These stories led me to. You see, I thought I was being sweet.
Yeah, I could already it's already going through in the picture in my
you
head,
can see it, right?
and I'm like, nah,
You
this
can
is
see
not
it.
going to end well.
If you were there back then, so I gave it to her, bro. She took the ring. I was like, oh, yeah, I went to about $50 at the time. I'm balling. I was like, she's gonna love it. And Walmart, I should have gone for something like 10.
Yeah,
a little bit more blingy. So, anyways, bro, give it to her. It's like, you be mine. We're going to the same high school. Broke up with me, bro.
So you gave it to her and then she broke up with you?
Bro, it was like maybe 2 weeks later.
She give you the ring back?
No. I got my money gone, my heart broken. So that at that time, from Mr. Sweet Guy, went back to my brother again, told him my heart got broken. He's like, Mike, let me sit you down. And this is going into high school. He's like, let me lay it out for you. Because, this has all happened to me before. So he's like, I'm gonna put you on game.
Yeah.
Since then, your boy came into high school 20 pounds heavier, no braces, contacts popped in the eyes, playing sports. And that's, that led me to where I started. I was like, you know what? I tried the sweet side.
Yeah.
They didn't want it. They didn't want it. So I'm gonna bring you something that you definitely don't want.
And then they wanted it.
Yeah, they. I guess something about the bad guy, right? I mean, ladies, that's what it is. The bad guy. You didn't want the sweet guy.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, girls want what they can't have, and they like the bad guys.
Exactly. So I had to turn into that. Yeah, so maybe I created the character, but that character I created because I started out sweet.
Yeah,
the character took over, right? So let's fast forward. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm in college and we meet.
Yeah.
So
dude, it was instant click.
Yeah. So because we both, I think the reason being is because we both had like you said, you felt like tag along, and then you grew, and then you got big.
Yeah.
And now you're him, right?
Yeah.
I always say I'm him. Katie hates that. Katie, I'll tell my son when my son's playing sports or something. I was like, man, you're him. Tell him, and my wife's always looking at me over the corner. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
You gotta have that self-confidence.
Yeah, you got to. But like I said, bro, got to college, linked up with you, linked up with some of the other homies, and then at that point, I never think, there's a thing called the mouthpiece. I don't think I have a mouthpiece like some of y'all know how to. I think most of the time I just kind of chilled.
Yeah,
I chilled. I had a little tight clothes on. Most of the time I just had sweats.
Yeah,
sweats and a V-neck with the hat back, just chilling. And they just popped up at the time. I think as you get confident, as you get bigger. I think.
And also, when we talk about us meeting up and then meeting the homies and stuff, and it was our clique, and I think us being with those guys, and we still are with those guys.
Yeah, still 15 years later.
But when we all, because we didn't show up to a party oh, there's Mike, oh, there's Taylor, oh, there's Bowler, or Chad, or Juwan, or Chris, or whatever.
Here they are.
It was we all rolled together every time. We showed up, we walked in, and everyone knew us.
Yeah, I mean, you came in with the bottles, came in to come get the girls.
And,
at that point, bro, that's what it was about.
Any place we walked into, if it was a party or a bar, everybody knew us in Stillwater anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Stillwater, for those that know, go Pokes. I mean, not this year, but still go Pokes, whatever.
But I think surrounding ourselves with those guys and stuff, and it just made us more confident.
Yeah.
Because even though you're not gonna score 100% of the time,
but
even when you miss,
if I think
your confidence never dropped.
Exactly.
With those guys, we wouldn't let it drop.
Exactly. I haven't told my son about this yet, bro, but there's something called a roster. So you build a roster.
Yeah.
That way, if you fail, you have a point guard and you have the rest of the team. If we're talking basketball, you build your little roster and you always go for the fifth man, the first. It doesn't matter. One of your wings. If you don't score that day, if you don't have a sixth man, if you don't have a Russell Westbrook, you got to go back and go get your post.
And like it was always changing too.
Go get your post. They change constantly.
Yeah.
They may get booed up in college and find the one they needed, which wasn't us at the time. That was never us. I was always happy for them.
Now again, we've changed a lot. All right.
Origin story.
This is just from
Origin
the
story.
beginning.
Yeah.
All right. This is how we became who we are. Like
Yeah.
it has changed a lot. So I don't want to catch anybody off guard or.
Oh yeah, no. It's not to catch you off guard.
But,
It's to tell you how it came. And again, the origin story. We were sweet.
We were, and
Hearts-
no one wanted it.
Hearts were broken numerous times. I can't wait till my son. The funny thing, and that's a different. But Delton came home one day. He's like, Dad.
The oldest.
Yeah, the oldest, not my youngest is, man. Anyways, he came home. He's like, Dad, I got broken up with. Immediately, it took me back. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Dude, my oldest Cooper said, he said, him and his girl, this was like last year, and he was like, yeah, we broke up. I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, she's dating Zeke now, like another kid. And I was like, are you okay with that? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? Like,
See,
like,
that's why it takes everything in me. Because Katie's like, Mike, do not let him be like you. It takes everything. I gotta hold it in. I'm gonna let him learn from his mistakes, and I'm gonna let him develop his own. Because I don't want him to ever think that being mean or being a dog is the right thing to do. I mean, everybody goes their own path. Everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but they created us.
Yeah.
Girls, y'all created us.
Talking about who we are, I mean, I know we got some stories packed in.
Yeah, I mean,
and like, I just wanted to say, like some of the crazy stories that we did have. Like, I don't want to get too crazy, but tell you some, like how big of a dogs we were. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like back in the day,
yeah,
with Facebook, and like my friend, one of the homies, he was like, hey, we were talking. I was like, hey. Like, I was talking to this girl at the time with some other ones, but she was like wanting to be like in a relationship. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't have that on Facebook. Like that's gonna ruin everything.
Never ever.
Yeah. And so my friend was like, nah. Like he was. I guess he like had the same thing happen or something. Like he figured it out, but showed me that. Back in the day, and I don't think you can do this anymore, but back in the day on Facebook, you can, on certain people, you can put who can like view your whole profile.
Oh, you were a pro. Okay.
Yeah, and so like the girl who I was talking to, like she could see that it said in a relationship with Taylor, and then I selected like 10 of her closest friends, and they could see it as well. And then everybody else...
Single.
You didn't see nothing. Like, ain't nothing gonna be seen on me.
Yeah.
And so that was one.
Yeah.
A little slick move I made.
Man, I never thought like that. I mean, and it's not the right thing to do. Just if like like you may boo someone up, and I'll start talking to someone else. But like in my mind, bro, it was like I have to because they're doing the same thing to me.
Yeah, can't trust anybody.
Girls. You girls are the best at it. I think. I mean, I caught one, but that's when I was playing ball. I had a girlfriend in another state.
Yeah.
That's a different story, but I caught her. But like I said, I was already doing the dirt myself, so you can't really be mad at somebody. But man, I got one story for y'all with me and this guy, right? And we're not gonna go too in depth on anything, but we go to remember New Year's in Dallas.
Yeah.
One of our buddies had just got an internship out there.
Oh yeah.
So we're getting, of course, it's New Year's. You're with nothing. We have no girlfriends. Probably talking to some people, but we're just throwing them back. And this is how, like I said, you gotta pick your. We're in a whole different state. So what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you ease in I was helping him with who he was trying to talk to, but she had a friend that wasn't really interested in me, but there might have been someone across the bar who was with one of our other that he was talking to a girl that I wanted to.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta navigate, and I think that's what they do now. I think, what do they call it? Like Riz, is it Riz now? Riz, I don't know. Riz, or sometimes Delton be doing some faces. What do you call it? Mewing or something. I
haven't heard that
one.
It
looks like he's having a stroke. His eyes start popping over there. So I don't know what we're doing, but I mean, back to that story. This dude doing his thing, coming in, and again, this was a long time ago. I don't want. Let's just make that clear. Doing this thing, but I mean, the night ended off well for all of us. But at the end of the day, I think we all fed off each other's energy.
Yeah,
and continue to.
I love how we all help each other. Like one time, like after the bar or something, or maybe it was after a party. Like I was talking to a girl, or maybe I was even dating her. I can't really remember. But I didn't come home or come back to my place.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in a house with like 3 other dudes, and I didn't come home one night, and I wasn't picking up my phone. I think she was like trying to hit me up or text me or whatever.
Yeah.
And I finally rolled back in at like 5 or 6 or something. I wasn't doing anything crazy or anything, but I rolled back into my place, and she's sitting there. Like my girl is sitting there, waiting on me. Like, I'm like, what the heck? And so she's like, where were you? And I'm like, nothing. I just went to go get some food. Like, I'm just trying to think of something to tell her. I'm like, I just went to go get some food. Nothing crap. I fell asleep at my friend's house. And she's like, no, you didn't. Like, where have you been? Yeah. And like giving me the 3rd degree. And then after I calmed her down and everything, I got some sleep, and then we went up to the gym in Stillwater and went to work out.
Okay.
And so I go into the bathroom, just to call my other friend, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm like, can you write on my Facebook wall and say like, hey, thanks for coming to see if I was okay, because he was sick at the time. Yeah. And so I was like, just say like, thanks for coming to see if I was okay, but don't come at like 4 a.m. or something. And so we're working out during this, and then after the gym, like she sees it because he posted it on my wall, and she goes, oh, you really were at his place? And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, he just wrote on your wall and was like, thanks for coming to see me, to check on me, but don't come at 4 a.m. And I was like, that's my dog. I was like, but yeah, we just always there to help each other out. And that's just.
Man, you remember I forgot the house we had on Burdick?
Yeah.
So we
called it the White House.
Yeah, the White House.
We called it the White House.
It was me and a couple of our buddies lived in this one house, like close to the football field, because that's where I'd go most of the time. But we had a pool table in the back. Mm-hmm. We had a loft up top. We had that den.
Yeah, right, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Bedroom. You remember that?
The house was huge.
Yeah, it was nasty. So, the one story, bro. So I'm out in Stillwater, and of course we throw this huge party. Remember that? Like, I mean, we do parties all the time.
All the time.
But one thing, and I'll never forget it. Like the chick that I was talking to back in Edmond, came out to that party.
I remember that. I remember that.
And then the chick I was talking to in Stillwater was also in that party. I don't know how I rotated around and skidded out and maneuvered, but that was one of the scariest moments I've ever had in my life.
And they run into each other,
bro. Yeah, they never ran into.
Oh, I know, but it's like when it's about to happen or whatever.
It's about to. That's when your heart starts beating out your chest.
You're like, I'm gonna get caught.
Jesus Christ. But man, plenty of stories to go over with. But I mean, like I said, there's always an origin story. There's always a reason why you become who you are, but we grow from it, right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, 100%. And we'll talk more in another podcast about how we are as dads now, and the way we're trying to raise our kids. But I mean, we just wanted to tell you guys from the beginning of how it all got started. Just trying to be open and honest with everyone.
You got to be. That's the biggest thing.
Trying to be vulnerable.
Yeah, just so y'all know. We were nice ones.
But, yeah.
Anyways, if y'all want to see more, don't forget to like, comment,
or even hit that subscribe button so you can just stay up to date with the newest releases whenever we drop them. But yeah, if you like it, please do it for us.
Yeah, follow us. We're out.
All right, later.